and welcome to our channel. In this video we will discuss about a very interesting topic, that is ADHD, which means Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder. Now what are the basic topics that we will discuss in this video? So they are, first of all, we'll talk about what exactly is the meaning of ADHD, what is ADHD. Then next we'll talk about what are the clinical features, that is what are the signs and symptoms of ADHD. Then next we'll talk about the various types of ADHD. Then next, what are the basic etiologies, that is what are the basic causes that leads to ADHD. Then next we'll talk about the investigations, that is diagnostic criteria, so what are the tests that you can perform for ADHD. And at last we'll talk about the natural management, which is a very important part, that what are the natural remedies for the ADHD. So these are the basic topics that we will cover in this video. So let's start. So first of all, we'll talk about what is ADHD, what exactly is a. So as we all know that ADHD is the Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder, which is a complex neurodevelopmental disorder that can affect a child's success at a school as well as their relationship. And the symptoms of ADHD vary and are sometimes difficult to recognize. An attention deficit hyperactivity disorder is a mental health disorder that can cause above normal levels of hyperactive and impulsive behaviors. And people with ADHD may also have trouble focusing their attentions on a single task or sitting still for a longer period of time. And both adults and children can have ADHD. So this is the exact meaning of ADHD. Now next we'll talk about the clinical features. So what are the symptoms now? So let's talk about it. So a wide range of behaviors are associated with ADHD, and some of the more common ones include: first, patient having trouble focusing or concentrating on tasks. Second, being forgetful about completing the tasks. Third, being easily distracted. Fourth, having difficulty sitting still. And last is interrupting people while they are talking. So these are some signs and symptoms of ADHD. Now next we'll talk about the types of the classification of ADHD. So let's talk about it, very important. So to make ADHD diagnosis more consistent, the APA has grouped the conditions into three categories or types, you can say. So these types are predominantly inattentive, predominantly hyperactivity impulsive, and a combination of the both. So first type of ADHD is predominantly inattentive. So let's talk about the first type of ADHD. So as the name suggests, people with this type of ADHD have extreme difficulty focusing, finishing tasks, and following instructions. And experts also think that many children with the inattentive type of ADHD may not receive a proper diagnosis because they don't tend to disrupt the classroom. This type is most common among the girls with ADHD. Now second type of ADHD is predominantly hyperactive impulsive type. So people with this type of ADHD shows primarily hyperactive and impulsive behavior. This can include forgetting, interrupting people while they are talking, and not being able to wait their turn. Although inattention is less of a concern with this type of ADHD, because people with predominantly hyperactive impulsive ADHD may still find it difficult to focus on the task. Now, third and the last type of ADHD is combined hyperactive, impulsive, and inattentive type. So let's discuss this with you. So this is the most common type of ADHD we have faced. So people with this combined type of ADHD display both inattentive and hyperactive symptoms. This include an inability to pay attention, a tendency towards impulsiveness, and above normal levels of activity and energy. And the type of ADHD you or your child have will determine how it is treated. The type you can have can change over time, so your treatment may change too. So these are the various types of ADHD. Now next we'll talk about the basic causes or the etiologies that leads to ADHD. So what are the causes now? So let's talk about it. So despite how common ADHD is, doctors and researchers still are not sure what causes the condition. It is believed to have neurological origins. Genetics may also play a role. And others suggest structural differences in the brain. And findings include the people with ADHD have less gray matter volume in the brain, and gray matter includes the brain areas that help with speech, self-control, decision-making, and muscle control. Now next, what are the investigations? So here we'll talk about the diagnostic criteria. So let's talk about it. So there is no single test that can tell if you or your child the benefits of a new test to diagnose adult ADHD, but many clinicals believe an ADHD diagnosis cannot be made based on one test. So to make a diagnosis, your doctor will assess your symptoms you and your child has had over the previous 6 months. Your doctor will likely gather information from teachers or family members and may use checklists and rating scales to review symptoms. They will also do a physical examination to check. So if you suspect that you or your child have ADHD, so talk to your doctor about getting an evaluation. For your child, you can also talk to their school counselors. Schools regularly assist children for problems that may be affecting their educational performance. So for the assessment, provide your doctor or counselor with notes and observations about you or your child's behavior. And if they suspect ADHD, so they may refer you or your child to an ADHD specialist. So depending on the diagnosis, they may also suggest making an appointment with the psychiatrist or neurologist. So these are the investigations. Now last, what is the management? So what you can do if you are suffering from ADHD. So let's talk about the natural remedies that you can try if you are suffering from ADHD. That is attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. So let's talk about the natural remedies. So in addition to or instead of medication, several remedies have been suggested to help improve ADHD symptoms. So for the starters, following a healthy lifestyle may help you or your child manage ADHD symptoms. So recommended the following. First, eat a healthy and the balanced diet. Secondly, get at least 60 minutes of physical activity per day. Third, get plenty of sleep. Next, limit daily screen time for phones, computers, and televisions. And studies have also shown that yoga and spending time outdoors can help calm overactive minds and may ease ADHD symptoms. So you can also perform meditation. Next, I would like to say about meditation. So mindful meditation is another option that you can try in adults and teens, which has shown meditation to have positive effects on attention and thought process, as well as on the anxiety and depression. And avoiding certain allergens, food additives are also potential ways to help reduce ADHD symptoms. So these are some natural remedies that you can try for ADHD if you are suffering from this problem. That's all for today. See you guys in our next video, that is how one can treat ADHD with the help of homeopathic medicines. Till then, stay connected with us for more videos like this. Don't forget to subscribe and comment below. And yes, press the bell icon for more updates. Stay safe and stay healthy. And yes, thanks for watching our video.